and welcome to another Snippet of History. Today we're going to talk about the Gunpowder Plot. So what is the Gunpowder Plot? The Gunpowder Plot was a plan to blow up the Houses of Parliament in London and kill the King. It's one of the most famous attempts to kill the King in British history. King James I was due to hold a ceremony on the 5th of November 1605 in the Houses of Parliament, and the plan was to hide barrels of gunpowder in the basement, which would then be set alight. The plot was not only to kill the King, but also the Queen, their son Prince Charles, and every member of government who would be at the ceremony. Beneath the Houses of Parliament were cellars that were used as storage spaces. These were rented out for the plot and gradually filled with a total of 36 barrels of gunpowder, with the intent of blowing up the buildings as well as everybody in them. Who was involved in the plot? The most famous man who was involved in the plot was Guy Fawkes. He and a group of other Roman Catholics were led by a man named Robert Catesby. Some of the other people involved were Thomas Percy, Francis Tresham, John and Christopher Wright, Thomas and Robert Winter, Thomas Bates, Ambrose Rockwood, Sir Everard Digby, Robert Keyes and John Grant. Guy Fawkes, Robert Catesby and the rest of the men were angry at the English government and the Protestant king for their mistreatment of Roman Catholics. They believed that Catholics were being treated unfairly under the Protestant rule. When James I came to the English throne in 1603, there were already many conflicts between the Protestants and Roman Catholics. He had succeeded Elizabeth I, another Protestant royal who didn't allow Catholics to practice their religion as they wanted to. James I's mother had been Catholic, so the Roman Catholics of England had hoped that he would present a fairer rule, but he instead ordered for all Catholic priests to leave England. As a result of this, Guy Fawkes, Robert Catesby and the rest of the conspirators were all furious at the king and his decision. They believed that if they removed him from the throne, the King of Spain would claim it, and he would treat Catholics more fairly. Despite their hopes, the gunpowder plot failed, and Guy Fawkes was caught before he could blow up Parliament and remove the king from the throne. Lord Meagle, the brother-in-law of one of the conspirators, received an anonymous letter which warned him not to attend the Houses of Parliament on the 9th of November the 5th. Monteagle immediately alerted the government of the warning. Soldiers found Fawkes in the cellar and the plot was a failure. They arrested him and took him to the Tower of London, where he underwent 3 days of torture. After this torture, Fawkes eventually gave up the names of the rest of the conspirators. The rest of the men were arrested for treason. Months later, January the 30th and 31st, the entire group of conspirators were executed in front of hundreds of people in London. Their heads were displayed on poles around the city as a warning of what could happen to others if they too committed treason. After this, James I ordered that the people of England should have a bonfire night on November the 5th every year to celebrate and remember his survival. Now, this day is known as Guy Fawkes Night or Bonfire Night. People celebrate with large bonfires, fireworks, and it is also commemorated by the famous poem Remember, Remember, the 5th of November. Thank you so much for coming to see this snippet of history, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!